Lamelo Ball was recently traded to Minnesota Timberwolves to form a big three with Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert. Check it out and subscribe.
Hornets, a deal that comes at the cost of Minnesota fan favorite Naz Reid as well as future draft capital. Now, if Ball, the former Rookie of the Year, can stay healthy, the pairing of Ball and Anthony Edwards could become one of the NBA's most explosive backcourts.
Shams and Perk, kind enough to kick it with us here on SportsCenter. Shams, we'll start with you. When we spoke with you on Wednesday night, you mentioned that it was just all boiled down to the price being right for LaMelo, but it feels like it all came together so quickly. How did this come together so fast?
I told you, 24 to 48 hours if a team hits that price threshold. And for the first time really in LaMelo Ball's career, there were a slew of teams trying to trade for him, negotiating with the Charlotte Hornets, upping the price. Minnesota, Toronto, Portland, all these teams made aggressive offers from my understanding, and the price kept going up. The Timberwolves finally met the threshold, though. Naz Reid, a big man which Charlotte wanted. They threw in an unprotected first-round pick, 3 pick swaps, 3 second-round picks. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, there's a pressure that comes with having an Anthony Edwards on your team and a price to pay. Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry, they are now entering the luxury tax for the 3rd straight year. That's the price of admission to trying to compete in the Western Conference with Anthony Edwards. They really felt like they needed a talent infusion. There's the team that let go of Julius Randle to Brooklyn. They knew they needed a piece. They saw LaMelo Ball was available, and they stepped up, and they got it done. And for Charlotte, you get a haul back to trade a player that's beloved in Charlotte.
Yeah, man, and with all of those money moves made, it still feels like the price of a brick is going up. So, Perk, what was your reaction when Minnesota made these moves?
Oh, I love it. And I know it's a lot of people out there that got a lot of negative things to say about LaMelo Ball, but let me start off by saying this. When he's healthy and he's available, this young man is box office. He plays at an all-NBA level. Anthony Edwards has been dying to play with a true point guard. Not only can he get buckets, but for his pushing the tempo and setting the stage and allowing Anthony Edwards to go back to his natural position of being an actual 2 guard and a scoring guard is going to take so much pressure off the Ant-Man. This is right now, to me, the best backcourt in the NBA. And people could talk about LaMelo Ball and they could not like him, but the one man this man loves is adversity. His entire life, when everybody has been going right, he goes left. Think about it. He wasn't your typical prospect coming out of high school that went to college. He went overseas and did it his way and then got drafted into the NBA. This is a perfect match. Well done by the Minnesota Timberwolves. If I'm Anthony Edwards, I'm thrilled, and I'm excited to see this Minnesota Timberwolves take place next season.
Now, Timberwolves have been busy. They made 2 trades in the last 3 days. Hard to notice, though, not to notice them getting smaller, subtracting Julius Randle, subtracting Naz Reid from the equation. So, Shams, are the Timberwolves done dealing here?
Their focus is getting a 4. They want to go out there in the marketplace. They're not going to have much to work with, though. They're not going to have the money with salary cap space, an exception like the mid-level. They're just not going to be in that mode, but they're going to have minimums to offer. And Tim Connolly, the president of basketball operations in Minnesota, he was described to me by multiple GMs today as a gunslinger, someone that is going to take risks and take swings. We saw it several years ago with Rudy Gobert when they traded all those picks to go get Rudy Gobert. They led to 2 conference finals appearances. Now he's doing it again with LaMelo Ball, but he also is known as a recruiter. So they have their hands full this coming next week where they've got to convince some guys to take a little bit less to join Ant Edwards and LaMelo.
Well, and Perk, you mentioned it. You said this is the best backcourt perhaps with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo, but it's hard not to notice how that series went against the Spurs, them getting smaller. How does this new Wolves lineup, what do you make of this new Wolves lineup with that consideration?
Well, I mean, you got to look at guys like Jaden McDaniels, who the Minnesota Timberwolves has basically made untouchable, and even Rudy Gobert, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and they got to elevate their game. They have to accept the challenge. Just like we witnessed Karl Anthony Towns with the New York Knicks embrace being the starting center, embrace actually playing defense, those guys are going to have to elevate. The one person in this lineup that Anthony Edwards loves the most is Jaden McDaniels. We've heard him come out publicly talking about how much he loves Jaden McDaniels. And every single season, every year, every postseason, Jaden McDaniels has gotten better. And I think you got to trust into your player development and Coach Finch that they're going to find ways to put these guys in position to be successful. But I'm not panicking at all. You go out and you find some athletic wings, an athletic 4, a 3-and-D guy, and get them at the right price, you're cooking with grease.
Shams, I want to pivot over to the Charlotte side of this equation, though. They've moved on from Melo, obviously. They've elevated Kobe White into that void by re-signing him, adding Naz Reid as well. But what's next for them?
Well, they have a lot of flexibility. They've got among the most first-round picks in the NBA. They've got a ton of assets to play with if they want. Miles Bridges is a player at the wing he's getting a ton of interest around the league as far as trades. So you think about Lamelo Ball, the guy that he came into the league with in a lot of ways was a guy like Miles Bridges. So we'll see what happens with his future. But Kobe White, 3 years, $74 million. He steps into that role in the backcourt that Lamelo Ball, now that Lamelo Ball is out. So Kobe White is in. They drafted a point guard as well in Christian Anderson. So they've moved on kind of in the backcourt. They have some flexibility to do stuff around the edges in the front court and on the wings. Naz Reid is going to be a big addition to this team as well. They already got some trade calls in on him, but the plan is right now to keep him. So this is a team that they could still shift the roster around a little bit if they want.
Okay, so Perk, with that understanding, knowing that they made the run that they did quite unexpectedly to that play-in tournament, and it really made some noise in it, frankly, how do you see the Charlotte Hornets positioned at this point and going forward?
Well, they're still going to be in the same position, in my opinion. They're going to be a team that's going to be a play-in team that's going to be looking to get into the playoffs. Now, make no mistake about it, they have some young talent. They have elite talent over there. I believe this is a golden opportunity for Kobe White to elevate his game. Naz Reid, he's a starter when it comes to that power forward, that forward position. Con Nipple, we saw that he finished second last year in Rookie of the Year, for his Rookie of the Year, right behind Cooper Flagg. So again, you have Brandon Miller, you have the assets, you have the culture now. My only problem is that they're going to have to come out to a hot start, win games, because the one thing we know about LaMelo Ball, he put butts in seats. He sells jerseys. And in order for them to keep that crowd engaged, the fan base engaged, they're going to have to get off to a hot start to keep that arena packed.
Yeah, I ain't going to lie to y'all, man. I had no idea how much Melo moved the needle, especially amongst the youngins, as I cannot claim that myself now.
Trev, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Walk into an AAU gym with me and watch LaMelo Ball walk in and watch how the kids go crazy.
He
I'm trying to